how are we gonna pull this off and release it before Halloween?
We only have a couple of weeks to shoot it, edit it, and release it.
Today we're going to be talking about how we managed to shoot a Halloween music video in 2 weeks. Tell me about Monster.
Monster is a song I wrote a few years ago.
I remember this was probably like 2018. Luke was kind of telling me about this song he was writing.
And finally decided to do something with it.
We came in, Luke showed me and Brad a sample of this new song that he was working on called Monster.
It's about the struggle through addiction. It's about this journey through darkness, told through the lens of a Frankenstein's monster kind of character. It's alive! Who is questioning his own faith, his own existence, his purpose in life. The song has a ton of religious symbolism and imagery, and it had so many cool, just spooky vibes. I mean, the sound of it has this almost spooky Western feel, and Halloween is coming up, so we were like, we need to release something for Halloween. I played this song for Brad and Ellis.
After hearing it, me and Brad were both like, dude, we have to make this a music video.
Brad and I sat down and we started brainstorming. What is this story visually?
Okay, maybe we can't hire someone to play a monster. Maybe we can't recreate like this 1800 Gothic style location like it is Frankenstein. But
we started playing around with the ideas of puppets, cardboard cutouts.
It was kind of a nice change of pace because whenever I joined the company, we had started working a lot more with VFX. And so it was kind of cool to like take a step back and actually do something practical that really gave this unique and mysterious vibe to the video that I don't know would have been possible if we had done it with VFX. So you don't always have to do everything with VFX. You can do stuff practically sometimes.
Whoa, I can't believe you said that. Brad and I remembered something we had studied in film school, which was called The Adventures of Prince Ahmed.
Lottie Reitinger, she's a German filmmaker back in like the 20s and 30s, and she did a lot of silhouette animation.
And it was all done through paper cutouts and puppetry. We decided, let's try to go that route. Let's go with the backlit shadow puppet show.
But then that's only half of the music video.
How do we tie in the live action stuff as well?
And that's when I think we had the idea, it's kids going trick-or-treating. So it's a way to interact, showing the monster story with a real life element and marrying both of them.
So one of the big influences for this music video was definitely Dead Man's Bones. If you're not familiar with that, it's Ryan Gosling's band. And I think they've only put out one album, but it's a really cool record. And they had a music video for a song called In the Room Where You Sleep. And they had a ton of kids on a stage, and they're all dressed in like kind of old school Halloween costumes. We knew it was gonna be tough finding a bunch of kids to play trick-or-treaters this close to Halloween with not a lot of notice.
And that's where our friend Jake Williams came into play.
Who you might know from some of the other videos.
He had big connections at the Holly Theater. He helped do summer programs for their camp.
For young actors, and so Jake started reaching out to some people for us, and before we knew it, we had a whole slew of child actors
that were able to audition and play the role of trick-or-treaters.
And even supply the costumes, which was a process of their parents sending photos, and then we would send back notes. And this is all going through Jake, so we've got kind of like a three-way system going. It was great though. I mean, these people already had a lot of costumes on hand, or they would make stuff by hand. On the day of the shoot, we had a little bit of Halloween makeup ready so we could add some sort of dark circles under their eyes. Just add that extra touch to give it a little extra creepy factor. For the storyline, we decided we'd have Brad act in this as well.
I got voluntold, but it was a ton of fun. I got to get into a completely different headspace. I hadn't done much acting. I like to joke, I'm a hand model.
George has become a hand model. A hand model, yes.
So I show up dressed in alien costumes, whatever, but this is my actual face. This is me having to show emotion, having to act.
And Brad was gonna play basically kind of a creepy carnival barker type character who is luring these kids in with the promise of a shadow puppet show.
With that comes a wardrobe, so
we just happen to have a lot of stuff because we shoot projects all the time. So we try to utilize old wardrobes, old props, anything that we've used previously that's sort of in our archive, we try to use that as much as we can. And so I just happen to have an old top hat from years ago when I was a vampire for Halloween.
Well, the funny thing with the top hat, and what you might not know, is this is a small head.
Hey, what are you doing? Hey, stop it! Hey, you're messing up here! Come on! Whoa! Whoa! Stop it! Whoa!
The only problem was when Brad put it on,
It engulfed my whole head, came to about right here, and I couldn't see anything.
so we were like, we're gonna have to adjust this so he can actually wear it on set. Luckily, we order lots of stuff all the time for the business, so we have cardboard and styrofoam and things like that that are laying around. So we took some of that styrofoam, tucked it inside the hat, taped it up, and basically made a custom fit,
So it would more perfectly fit my head.
and it wouldn't just swallow his head whole.
Luke had a vest.
We used that.
We were going to have contacts for me where my eyes were yellow, but I messed up putting in the address for Luke's house. I put in the wrong one, so that didn't work out.
I think my mom actually gave me some of these necklaces that she didn't really care about anymore, and we used that for Brad to have that sort of chain look that looks like a pocket watch almost. Most of the time Brad has a beard anyways,
I'm ready to shave it.
and so his mustache was plenty long.
So we shaved it down, and that's when me and Luke always get into these weird situations where I almost feel like a teenage boy learning to shave my face for the first time.
Listen to me. I feel like a schoolboy again.
And he's helping trim it up, give me some good sideburns.
So Brad was able to kind of give it that twirl of the mustache to give it that iconic villain look, and he played a really creepy dude. We also had to figure out the costumes for the Reapers. You know, we went online, we started ordering costumes. Mind you, this is all done in-house. This isn't a paying client. We're trying to do this the most affordable way we can. So the thing you don't really consider when you're thinking about making a music video using puppets is that you actually have to cut out all those puppets. And this is a tedious process.
Me and Luke are back in our art school element. We're making these cardboard cutouts or paper cutouts for these characters.
The other good thing about owning a business where you order stuff all the time is we have tons of cardboard to make puppets out of.
So what do these puppets look like?
We were Googling different types of creature designs, and
And then eventually I was like, screw it, let's just start cutting some out.
he kind of sketched it on a piece of cardboard and cut it out.
And I made like the skeleton looking design for the head and this hunched body for the monster.
And I was like, dude, that's awesome. That looks perfect.
We decided to go with it.
You know, we came up with sort of our own style based on all these different influences.
The monster character had several different setups because there's times in the music videos where he's on his knees crying out, but then there's other times where he's just a stick figure.
What did you use to make his arm move?
So, as any Brad would, I would enlist my other Brads to make a point of articulation and make his arm move. So, thank you, Brads.
We filmed this in several phases, and some of it was just me and Brad in the office filming my performance footage.
Which I think that, honestly, even though I got to act in this, I think it was my favorite part because I got to be behind camera. Luke's the one doing the performance.
And we wanted to give it that sort of almost 90s style of shallow focus, goes in and out of focus. You're not really that concerned about being perfect. It's more about sort of the energy and the vibe. And you see this in like Smells Like Teen Spirit, the Nirvana music videos.
The heart-shaped box, like Smashing Pumpkins style music videos.
And I've got just like a ton of this like Halloween makeup on, and we had our ice lights up above doing this really hard down light so that it created those dark shadows around my eyes and dark shadows like on my cheekbone to make me look a little more skeleton, just a little more ghoulish. And so most of that is just literally me and Brad in the office.
Just turned the lights off and pumped a ton of haze in it.
Got the song cranked up on the computer.
Replaying the song over and over again.
I'm just like jamming out,
I'm just shifting the focus ring.
doing my best to give like a solid performance,
I'm shaking the camera because we want to have that jittery effect.
to give the energy that I feel like the song has and that the music video needed. And there's one cool part where we wanted to have a bunch of hands come out of nowhere grabbing me. That was crazy. Because part of the song is about this mob of people who are coming after the monster. And so we wanted to parallel that in the performance footage.
The issue is we need more hands on deck. And guess who decides to go on vacation that week? Ellis Treese.
And the only people there that day were me and Brad, and my wife Carrie happened to be upstairs. So we went and asked her if she'd be willing to help us out for a minute. In the shot where you see all the hands come in and grab me, actually 2 of the hands are my own. So I'm kind of playing a character grabbing my own shirt, and then Brad and Carrie are on either side of me.
And we're all just like grabbing at his shirt.
It's a cool shot because it shows how what you see through the lens could be something totally different than what's actually happening in the room. We have a part where the monster is handing a flower to the little girl. And to do that, we needed kind of a little girl's hand to take it, but we didn't have any little girl actors. So Brad was gonna stand in and be a little girl.
Luke's like, you got it. It's going to be easy. Just kind of make it more dainty and effeminate. And
Let me just say, Brad doesn't look like a little girl.
I'll give it a go.
And his hands definitely don't look like a little girl. I think he was probably pleased to find out he doesn't have little girl hands after all.
Okay, yeah, whatever.
So we tried it.
We watched the playback.
It looked like a dude's hands.
Oh, it's a man's hand. Luke can't do it. He's got man hands.
And so we had to call on
Carrie Pilgrim to the rescue once again.
She came downstairs, nailed it in one take, and we were done. The day of the shoot with all of the trick-or-treaters, it was just such a blast.
It was that perfect crisp fall air, middle of October.
These kids were super pumped to be in this. Everyone felt like they were really part of doing something really fun and really cool.
They brought a level of energy to set. It was that little kid energy where it's like infinite, and it made filming at night a lot of fun.
We had to wait around a little while because we wanted it to be dark. We had to wait on the sun to go down,
which provided a lot of lighting issues. So lighting was really interesting and unique to kind of get that spooky Halloween vibe, but also have everything still lit properly. And I think that was kind of mitigated too by having a fire.
We made a bonfire. Luke's wife Carrie really helped us out.
Carrie really wanted to set something on fire, I think.
She might be a pyromaniac. I don't know. She did way too good of a job with it.
She was like, I'll make your bonfire. And she lit that thing up. It was insanely huge.
It's tough because the sun doesn't go down till kind of late, and these are kids you're dealing with, and then you only have a couple hours after the sun goes down to get all your shots because you can't keep these kids working here till midnight. So we were definitely rushing and pushing to try to get all the shots in as fast as we could. We had a couple of extra hands on set. Like usual, we were doing almost like kind of a skeleton crew. Skeleton. And
like any shoot goes, you realize we don't have enough hands on deck. So the funniest part to me was having all these parents just help out. You know, they're taking reflectors to help move the haze. They're moving lights around. It becomes almost like this whole community involvement. Probably for parents, sometimes on sets you think, oh, I'm going to show up, get some light reading done, do my taxes, whatever parents do while their kids are out on set. But on a Sozo Bear shoot, it means everyone's involved in having a fun time. But I think that brings the best results.
And that pretty much sums up how we were able to pull off a spooky music video with just a couple of weeks notice before Halloween.
So if you haven't seen it yet, check it out. The whole idea of it was for these kids to dress up like old style, you know, spooky stuff, classic vampires and pirates and mummies and monsters and ghouls and goblins, a zombie with no conscience. That's a Jay-Z reference. I put it in there. Okay. No one cares.